Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Edberg. Today, I am talking about episode 6 of the brand new Disney Plus Star Wars original show, The Acolyte, the third to last episode of the brand new Star Wars show. So, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. We just hit 220 subscribers. Let's get to 230 as quickly as possible. We are growing quickly, so join the channel. I talk all things movies, TV shows. I do a box office show every single Tuesday, out of theater reactions and rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on episode 6 of The Acolyte? Is the show on a roll? Are you just off the boat on the show? What are your bold predictions for these final 2 episodes? Let me know. It's a fun discussion. I respond to all the comments, so definitely comment down below. And also, guys, please like the video, guys, the thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel. Please don't hit the thumbs down. Thumbs up, please, if you're watching this video. So, if you're new to the channel, again, I'm not going to explain this every week, but I'm just going to give my general thoughts on episode 6. And overall, again, I'm not on the boat with the show. This was not the worst episode of The Acolyte, but it certainly wasn't intriguing or fascinating. Now, I finally have come to what I think is another key problem with the show. And that is the fact that I do believe, actually, Manny Jacinto as Chimera, whatever his name is going to be moving forward, is, first of all, Jacinto is great in this show, especially this episode. And that character, for me, is the lone interesting thing going on in the show, which has made me think that this should have been the lead character of this show. If they wanted this dark Sith version of the show, I think they should have had a Sith in May Jacinto's character be the lead character of the show, with Soul being the Jedi who has that personal connection with him, who's trying to bring him back either to the Order or to justice, and make it a more simplified story. And it just feels like they kind of had to forcefully put in this twin storyline. And I don't think May and Osha are just the right characters to be leading the show. I think Manny Jacinto's character is by far and away the most interesting thing going on in the show. And you really know that off this week's episode, because we're cutting in between 3 different story halves. We have Vernestra with the Jedi investigating what happened on Kalnaka. You have May on the ship with Basil and Soul. And then you have Osha with Chimera. I'm going to say Chimera right now. The Chimera and Osha stuff was the only thing keeping my attention throughout the entire episode. You have Chimera kind of talking to her in a very subtle but a very calming demeanor. He doesn't feel like that. He does feel like a threat, but he kind of has that common sense to him that he's not a bumbling idiot, villain, mustache twirling character. He's a very complex character where it seems like he was betrayed by the Jedi because they sensed something dark inside of him, and that led to him being banished, to him wanting to lead his own path. There is such a fascinating story with him. The look, the mask is very cool, that it was a mask that you see Jedi Padawans using on Coruscant. Very interesting things. And it's not that he's all against the Jedi. He does not like the fact that the Jedi believe that they are the only people that get to choose how to use the Force. They're such a fascinating element if he was given the entire show. But instead, the show wants to do this twin thing with a murder mystery. And I do feel like murder mysteries are very difficult to get right, because you have to balance how much information you're giving the audience per episode, especially if you're doing a TV show. We don't have 2 hours to do a murder mystery. And I think this episode, more than any other episode, was trying to hold back revealing dialogue, because we have 2 episodes left, and that's where the reveals would be. I feel like there were points where the characters wanted to explain things, but it was like the writer's like, uh-oh, not this episode. We already have the last 2 episodes written. We can't reveal this in this episode. And I feel like from a script perspective, they were just holding a lot back from the characters because they couldn't explain things. Another cliffhanger episode where characters are about to reveal things to characters, and then we're like, next week. I'm all for cliffhangers, but just feel like the show either should have been shorter or should have found more original, innovative ways to either keep the audience away from the mystery and keep the audience away from answers, or just sprinkle in some answers each week. I just feel like they were just really holding back this week. I'm all cool with talking episodes, by the way. I know we had a lot of action last week and no action this week. I'm all for talking episodes, especially in Star Wars. There's a lot of different philosophies and things I'm interested in. But again, these characters are something other than Chimera, I just don't care about. May has become, for me, after being the most interesting character, the least interesting character, where she thinks she can swerve both Basil and Soul being on the ship. There's literally a scene where she gets stomped on, sells the injury, and then in the span of 10 seconds, stops selling the injury to work on the droid. Their Soul is a very complicated Jedi, and he's a very interesting character on the page, but because Soul has to keep telling us every week, oh, I'm not really going to tell you about this, it's more a nagging thing for this character of Soul than interesting, because there is a complex character, but I feel like every week Soul starts a conversation by saying, I'll wait to tell you this at some point. Literally, we end the episode with him and May being like, well, I just need you here. You're not going anywhere because guess what? I have a lot to get off my chest, and that's the last thing we see of Soul this episode. That's a character I think is really being held back by the constraints of the script, because there's times where Soul could reveal things to people, but because I guess he has to reveal it in the last 2 episodes, we're holding back reveals. And instead of feeling more a mystery with him, just feeling kind of lazy with the way they're writing that character. May's been an idiot since the episode 4, where she went from, I'm going to turn myself in, to I'm not going to turn myself in, a total 180 with really no explanation. And now she's, I guess, on the run again. And then I think the Jedi stuff just isn't working with me with Vernestra. There was a joke about nausea on space travel that I think wasn't funny and felt total forced SNL-like humor into the show, which felt more like SNL to me than a Star Wars show, in a bad way, like a bad SNL joke making a way into the show. Some of the dialogue was not good with the Jedi and their investigation. They literally made a whole point that Kalnaka, this planet where the Wookiee went, was a hard planet to find. And there's a reason why this Wookiee Jedi could live in harmony for the rest of his life with this place. But each time a new character has gone to this planet, they have found this Wookiee's home in a matter of just, it feels like scenes. And I don't think the show did a good enough job making you feel like, why would the Wookiee stay there if just random Jedi can just show up and find the place in a matter of seconds? I just didn't find it believable. I like the stuff with Chimera and Osha. The deliberation was very good. The sense maybe they're trying to hinting at a swerve. Maybe Osha's going to be the bad one maybe at the end. They're doing a really good job with Chimera because he's a fascinating, flawed character. He feels like a real person in Star Wars who, yes, is more darker than light as it pertains to light or dark side. But Chimera is very complex and has real emotions, and I find it very fascinating. Especially with Osha, who's been basically, it seems like, deceived and lied to by the Jedi. So I don't, the moment with her in the mask was okay. It was clearly trying to do a Darth Vader-like moment with her breathing. I'm ready for the reveals at this point. This is not a murder mystery that gets me enthralled with the show. There's one character that's really gripping me right now on the show, and that's Chimera. Who was not in the first 4 episodes, but once his reveal has happened, he's become a very interesting character and the one thing that's keeping my attention on the show. But other than that, I was bored. I felt like the show was very restricted in what it could reveal in this episode. It's like they're talking without saying anything important because they have to wait until next week. So again, this show is not for me right now. There's 2 more episodes. I'll be watching them and breaking them down here on this channel, but right now the show is just not clicking with me. What are your thoughts? Do you disagree with me? Are you on board with the show? If so, why? If you agree with me, why are you not enjoying the show? What is going to happen in the final 2 episodes? Let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon.